Hello, my name is Collection Connoisseur. I collect digital thingamabobs and video games. Today I'm playing Monster Train. Last time on Monster Train, we beat our 24th Expert Challenge, which means this time we're going for the gold. We're going to try to win the very last Expert Challenge, Truer Champion, which I don't think is one of the harder ones necessarily, but I have died a few times trying it, so maybe it is. I don't know. We are going to do this with Hellhorned Umbra and Exiled Primary. Perfect. Just like we had it before. Exiled Primary. So, Hellhorned Umbra, we've got Shade Splitter and Queen Zimpling, and of course we've got our Hef the Blacksmith. Let's go. We have Welder Helper, Making of a Morsel, and Imp in a Box. How interesting. Unfortunately, Seraph the Diligent is our Seraph battle. Do not like that one. Let's go. So we already have imps. We already have a lot of imps, which is quite interesting because the two Hellhorned cards that we have not mastered are both imp related. Wing clippings help us against Seraph, and Unbroken Horn is really interesting. Let's take Unbroken Horn and move on. Now, at the beginning, these battles will be very easy, so turn all of those on. Hef the Blacksmith is really good for the very beginning. So, I could even put you at the bottom floor. Is that crazy? I honestly don't think that's crazy. We're going to play the good old Wingmaker. So we've got a ridiculous amount of space on the bottom floor right now. We can play imps at the bottom. I'm going to play a few imps at the bottom. Let's see here. One imp makes it so that you all die. How about that? In that case, let's play a Welder Helper. And I'll play you here. And now Hef the Blacksmith isn't taking any damage. We'll play their Train Steward here, and I feel like we're already winning this first battle. No problem at all. Win the first battle. A brief respite. Well, Shade Splitter, Shade Splitter, Shade Splitter. I mean, all of those are going on the Welder Helper right now, which is not exactly where you want them. But the two Ant-Umbra morsels are no problem there. Maybe I play the Morsel Excavator up here, though. Just in case Hef the Blacksmith doesn't destroy. Which she will, so I had no reason to do that. Alright, we're already winning. First one down, just like that. Now, let's see what we get. More imps. More imps are interesting. We really don't need Hidden Passage. I think I'd rather have a Fledgling Imp than a Molting Imp, for the most part. Space Prism seems a little bit pointless. The Immortal Trade is something that I tend to like. Let's take it. Morsel Master. Oh, there's the Apex Imp. Alright, let's take another imp. Alright, we do have a lot of imps. Now we just have to get the cards that make imps good. Cards and relics, for that matter. Or artifacts, I mean. Frenzy Stone. I mean, we really do like that on Hef the Blacksmith. Let's see what the Umbra unit is. So what we're thinking about is what we would want to sacrifice to Hef the Blacksmith, or sacrifice to something else, perhaps. The Morsel Maker is the best choice in just it's good if you sacrifice it or if you don't sacrifice it. If you sacrifice it to something or if you sacrifice something to it. I will take it. And then we're definitely putting the Frenzy Stone on Hef the Blacksmith. Great. Hef the Blacksmith has multi-strike. The fact that we can only upgrade you once is really annoying, but still, that's a good upgrade. The Apex Imp we're certainly going to keep. You have Summon Game Armor 5. Do we want a Heartstone on you? I guess so. It's not exactly what we want, but it's pretty decent. We could put a Heartstone on something else, but I'm going to put it on the Apex Imp. Alright, so we're keeping the Apex Imp for certain. And we've done everything we're going to do here. Let's move on. Mark of Invasion. We definitely turn that on. Remember, we're really good right now. Hef the Blacksmith just crushes. So, Hef the Blacksmith up here. Crush. Now, what else do we play? We could play Immortal Trade on Hef the Blacksmith, because then you would heal up, and that's actually not bad. We could play the Apex Imp. The problem with the Apex Imp is it's going to take damage no matter where we put it on the first turn, and we don't necessarily like that. But I think we do. I think we play the Apex Imp here. I think we play our first Immortal Trade on you. So we can't play anything this turn because we had Ember Drain. We had 3 Ember Drain. How sad. Yeah, we did have 3 Ember Drain. I didn't think about the Ember Drain that we got when we played you. Therefore we lost the Collector. We probably would have lost the Collector anyway, but still. That was one of the reasons we lost the Collector. So 2 Welder Helpers seems pretty good on your floor. We can only play 1 this turn, but, you know, let's play 1 this turn. And the Welder Helper dies, which is actually nice, because it makes more space. And then, is there anything that we need to do, really? I mean, no. There's not anything we really need to do, really. We're going to play a Making of a Morsel. We're going to play an Imp in a Box. And play that one. Seems useful there. And we didn't play the Pyre Chomper first. Doesn't matter. We just clicked End Turn. We're going to click End Turn again. We just clicked End Turn 2 times in a row. Let's click End Turn again. Alright, 3 End Turns to victory. We still don't need Hidden Passage. I don't know if I want a Molting Imp. It still kind of feels like I don't. Whereas I really do want a Hornbreak. Let's take one. Haha, Perils of Production, we will take that. It goes well with the Immortal Trade that we already have. It doesn't go well with the Unbroken Horn, unfortunately. So, where do we go? Do we want a unit or some artifact? We kind of want some artifact. As much as we do want a Merchant of Magic, we kind of want some artifact because the artifact makes imps better, but also there's units that we need to master. So I think we go this way because there's more chance of getting things to master. Merchant of Magic has a Keepstone. We really like to see that. Divine Temple has Extreme Stone and Seek Stone. You know, Extreme Stone is really nice on either of those two. How about that? That's not bad at all. Let's look in the concealed... No. Let's look at this Hellhorned unit first. A Demon Fiend. Do we want a Demon Fiend? The fact that we have Unbroken Horn means we could play it. Especially if we got more ways to gain Ember, which we don't have too many of those right now. If we took the Demon Fiend, we could sacrifice the Morsel Maker to it, or sacrifice it to the Morsel Maker. Both of those make some amount of sense. How much do we need a Demon Fiend, though? I don't think we do. I think we're going to skip. And visit the Concealed Caverns. Give me a card that I can master. Ooh, you actually did? You actually did, because if we take this, the upgraded card is the non-calcified ember. What is that called? I forget now. But it is one that we have not mastered. So we're going to take this and really hope to master that. They're good cards, too. Excavated Ember, that's what it's called. Excavated Ember are great cards. So I do want a Keepstone. I'm going to put it on good old Wingmaker. And then I'm going to put the Extreme Stone on good old Wingmaker. Alright. That's a good old Wingmaker right there. Seek Stone. Seek Stone, we don't want to do Imp in a Box. We could do Perils of Production, because if we add Ember Drain to something, especially something like a Morsel, then we keep all of the Ember. Ooh. I may want to keep Stone on that too, but a Seek Stone on it is nice, because that just starts off with more Ember. Engage Pact, we have so many choices, and I just don't know. We could sacrifice the Morsel Maker to one of these. Didn't really get something to sacrifice to Heft the Blacksmith just yet, but we do want that to happen too. It's not going to be the Morsel Maker, right? I don't think so. So we could sacrifice, or we could hold off. I mean, sacrificing the Morsel Maker to the Apex Imp is not too bad. Let's do that. Sacrifice Morsel Maker to the Apex Imp. We depend a little bit less on morsels, and the Apex Imp just gets bigger every turn. Which he should be doing anyway, but he definitely does it now. Surge Stone, don't want that. Ember Stone? Certainly. Put that on a Making of a Morsel? Alright, I think we've gotten a lot of Ember in that last set of things that we added. So, Talos gains armor on Slay. We have the Apex Imp and a Welder Helper. We have our Heft the Blacksmith. I kind of want to put Heft the Blacksmith in the center. Let's play this Shade Splitter first, because we're going to beef up the Shade Splitter, whatever comes out of this with the Perils of Production this turn, so we can get just more Ember. Rubble Morsel. Well, we're going to play it at the top. I don't know what we're going to play next to it yet. I probably want Heft the Blacksmith in the center, I think. So we'll put Heft the Blacksmith in the center. We'll play the Apex Imp at the top with a Welder Helper making you bigger. Alright. Imp in a Box. Let's see what's in the box. Alright, Pyre Chopper. Pyre Choppers are great. We want to play a Pyre Chopper in the center, so that we gain Ember. Let's play the two Shade Splitters first. See what we're getting out of those. Morsel Excavator is really nice because the lifesteal is really nice to have. And then maybe we play a Queen's Impling in the center so that it kills one and takes the damage from another one. I like that. And then a Pyre Chomper. The Fledgling Imp is going to go at the top. I'm okay with you getting armor. So I'm going to play the Pyre Chomper first. The Magma Morsel goes first. Then the Fledgling Imp. And we play the Pyre Chomper at the bottom to gain lots of Ember for the future phase. Now, we don't like how much health our lady right here has, but she does have lifesteal. So as long as we can prevent her from taking too much of the damage, which does seem a little bit hard this turn, honestly. Oh no. You actually die this turn. Our big unit dies this turn. I don't think there's anything that we can do about it, because 2 Queen's Implings... Oh, actually we have 3 space now. Right. We can. We can save you, which is important, because you heal up all the way. So it's good to save you. Great. Good old Wingmaker. We want to play it at the bottom or the center. I guess if we play it in the center, we could play it next turn as well when those come up. We want to play the Welder Helper up here, because giving you more armor is good. And then the Fledgling Imp is probably best at the top, honestly. Train Steward, we could have it die or put it on the floor with Hef the Blacksmith. Let's put it on the floor with Hef the Blacksmith, have you kill the Train Steward. I know you gain armor. I don't care about your armor. I care about my unit's health. So, we just play good old Wingmaker here. Alright. We don't have any space to play things at the top anymore. And you are taking a lot of damage this turn, that's great. We can Hornbreak you if we want. Let's do that. I don't care about playing the Queen's Impling, but I will play the Train Steward. This time... We're playing it in front? We're playing it in front. Now for the Relentless phase. I am in no way worried about this phase at all. We'll do that. We'll play a Making of a Morsel. We'll play an Immortal Trade. We'll play Morsel Miner. Another Morsel Miner. And then next turn, we easily win, I believe. Alright, we easily win. Great. There was one part in that battle where we had to make sure that Hef the Blacksmith survived, and she almost didn't. But otherwise, that went great. Umbra Stone gives Trample. Reinforce... I mean, Reinforce works really well with the Apex Imp. If you continue to give it armor, which we kind of don't right now because of the Welder Helpers. But I do kind of want it because of how well it works with Apex Imp. Alright. None of you are cards that we can master. I don't know if we want Hef the Blacksmith to take up more space. I mean, I guess it's not too bad because she does create space herself. Alright, well, I didn't take the first Demon Fiend, but we'll take this one to sacrifice to Hef the Blacksmith. Don't need Light of Seraph. Herzl's Compound is always good. Bell's Remorse is good, but do we need it? Don't think so. Herzl's Compound. Now, we go left for a Merchant of Steel. I mean, the Apex Imp still wants something. And then we could put something on an Imp. If we put something on an imp that gives it immortal, like an immortal stone, that would be good. I don't care to duplicate yet. I don't think I want an Umbra unit, and I don't... Well, I do want the Forgotten Boons, but I don't think it's as good as removing cards. So we go this way. We peek in here. A large stone we cannot afford. Ick. Queen's Tail is far too important. Alright, let's take that. I was thinking that if we skipped that, we would have enough for the large stone. But the Queen's Tail is exactly what we want to get as artifacts. So, we're removing Train Stewards. We take this. We failed to think about that we couldn't afford one of the red ones. So going this way wasn't as good as we really thought it might be. But we can purge a card. I'll purge a card. Purge another Train Steward. Okay. And be done for now. Be done for now. Go to the next battle. At this point, F the Blacksmith isn't just good enough. Ancient Hate is really bad with our good old Wingmaker, so we're not going to turn that on. As much as we do want the gold. And we really want to kill things because they have haste. F the Blacksmith could go in the center or the top. We're going to play a Making of a Morsel at the top, certainly. Well, actually, we could play it with Hef the Blacksmith if we wanted. Do we play Hef the Blacksmith at the top? I guess it's much better than playing Apex Imp at the top. So I guess we will. So you go here, Hef the Blacksmith goes at the top. A Rebel Morsel. Well, actually, let's play the Perils of Production just to get Ember. And Apex Imp can go in the center with a Rebel Morsel? I don't know. Put the Rebel Morsel at the top. And then let's save. I forgot that we were going to draw one. I don't care about playing these Queen's Implings, so don't play them yet. Get more Ember. How about we play a Demon Fiend at the bottom? We could actually put the Demon Fiend at the top, for that matter. Okay. Let's put the Demon Fiend at the top. Take the damage. And then Shade Splitter Infinite Box. We got a Rebel Morsel again. That's something, I guess. Play the Welder Helper here. Yet another Welder Helper, how unfortunate. And then this one is not bad, it kills that. And we have a little bit more Ember for next turn. We still have not drawn our Keepstone thing. There's so many things that we could play. Is there anything that I want to play? I mean, we could play a Welder Helper at the top. Let's play the Shade Splitter first. So you're going to go down to 3 health, unless we do something. One of the things we could do is just play a Queen's Impling in front of you. And we could put Immortal Trade on you. The good old Wingmaker will come eventually. Let's put Immortal Trade on you. Let's put the Welder Helper... I don't want to play the Welder Helper at the top. Let's play the Fledgling Imp at the top. Oh, and then we got Hornbreak. Hornbreak is nice. We can kill this one, finally. And then a Welder Helper right here. It'd be nice if you guys died. I don't know when that would happen. And this Rebel Morsel cannot be eaten. Alright, we'll just play it. Reinforce could be played in the center. Or, well, we can't actually. Never mind. We can play good old Wingmaker at the bottom. Bam. Could have played it in the center to gain a space in the center, I guess. Oh well. We'll play a making... Well, actually, we need to play an imp. Let's play an imp. And then we'll play Making of a Morsel. Good old Wingmaker is here forever. We could play it in the center to make more room. I actually do want that. We don't have an imp to play, which is unfortunate. Let's play Making of a Morsel, Making of a Morsel, and play Perils of Production on one of those, because I just want more Ember right now. I don't want the Rage so much. I want the Ember. Do I care about playing another Shade Splitter? I guess the Shade Splitter is good, but the Train Steward is not. And then I believe we win. We have a good old Wingmaker to prevent you from flying up the train, as it were. We've got another Welder Helper. Excellent. And then Shade Splitter, Rubble Morsel. I guess we will play these two Queen Zimplings. Alright, and we're winning in the middle. How nice. Alright. Another imp in a box. I actually want it. I mean, now that we've got Queen's Tail, it's even better. Definitely do not want Ember Forge. Revel is fine. Excavation Eruption is fine, but with our good old Wingmaker that we draw every turn, do we really need it? I don't think so. So we skip. And we get our calcified embers. Right? Oh, this is not that. Alright, never mind. Have to take those a little bit further. Divine Artifact. I'm going to just skip these, because I think we're fine, and I would rather have the money. Oh, there we go. 2 in a row. Now we get these. The Ember Deposits have become Excavated Ember. Wonderful, which is a card we have not mastered. We sort of have to go to the Concealed Caverns, because mastering cards is important. Duplicating a card, we could duplicate Hef the Blacksmith after sacrificing the Demon Fiend to her. Let's really consider that. But we're going here, we're going to look in the Divine Temple. True Stone goes great on nothing. It's not that great on Hornbreak, because it's just basically a Power Stone. Twin Stone goes on... I mean, it could go on an Excavated Ember. That's a little bit strange. Oh, it goes on Make Perils of Production. Of course it does. Right. Alright. And we're definitely going to do the Engage Pact. We should probably do this first, just in case. Concealed Caverns, what do you have for me? You have a Build a card. I like building cards. So, Frostbite, Sap, or Regen. The Regen is not that great, so it's either going to be Sap or Frostbite. I'm going to choose Sap. And then Sap and pull forward or push back. I think the things that we would sap, we would want to pull forward. Increase card draw. That's nice. Okay, let's do that. And I think this is worth it. Apply sap 3, pull to the front, draw 1 next turn. If it didn't have the draw 1 next turn, it would not be worth it. But I will take it because it has that. Alright, now Divine Temple, sacrifice the Demon Fiend to Hef the Blacksmith, make her even bigger. And then we're going to duplicate Hef the Blacksmith. Duplicate Hef the Blacksmith. She's good. She is good. She's big, at least. And now we go on. We have 120 pack shards. How about that? We're probably going to get to 150. I hope I don't lose because I'm getting so many pack shards. You have sweep. That can be annoying, but I don't think we care as much as we normally would. The Spikes 4 for a random artifact I will turn on. I don't think Spikes 4 is that significant for us. Alright, we have an Excavated Ember, which we will play. We have a Shade Splitter. Great. We really wanted the Shade Splitter, because now we can play the Rubble Morsel up here, play 2 Perils of Production on it, and that means that we can get a whole lot of Ember for the first few turns. Do we put Hef the Blacksmith at the bottom? I'm pretty confident that we do. One of these Hef the Blacksmiths is going to die, and it's going to be the one at the bottom. I want the Apex Imp in the center. Immortal Trade, we could put that on this Hef the Blacksmith. And we could Hornbreak one of these. So, I think... yeah, I think you're going to do just fine. Do you consume 2 lifesteal when you strike twice? You do. Ah, lifesteal is not so great. I think we knew that from a previous time, but still. The lifesteal is not as good as we'd hope it would be. We're certainly going to play Making of a Morsel and a Shade Splitter. I guess we play... well, we don't want to play the Morsel Excavator at the bottom because of spikes, so we really only want to play it at the top. Give you some lifesteal. Morsel Miner. I'm going to not hope for you very much. I'm going to play the Queen's Impling here. Yeah, I'm going to play it here, so that we draw something. Oh, the Welder Helper on just the wrong time. Because if we played it for you, it would actually hit the Queen's Impling. How sad. Alright, let's play a Morsel Miner at the top. I'm not putting too much faith in you right now, because we didn't get to upgrade you fast enough, basically. Train Steward? We could play that at the bottom to get rid of it. I mean, I put it in back, but it's still going to get rid of it eventually, because there's all of these spikes. Alright, here's our good old Wingmaker, and another Excavated Ember. And an Old Magic, in case that matters to us. We should play an Imp, because we draw a card if we play an Imp. Play an Imp. We got an Imp in the box. Tire Chomper, kind of excellent. Where are we going to play all these things? Alright, we're going to play the good old Wingmaker at the bottom. We're going to play Old Magic on you. And we're going to play a Pyre Chomper down here. Rubble Morsel and Morsel Miner. Guess we can play both of those at the top. Let's do it. And then I don't care about playing you imps yet. We'll play you later when you actually draw me a card. I like having 11 Ember, by the way. It's kind of nice. So, good old Wingmaker. does a lot at the bottom. Welder Helper does something significant in the center. Imp in a box. Let's see what's in the box. We got Transcend Imp. Yes. Alright, so we're going to play a couple Fledgling Imps. Yeah, a couple of Fledgling Imps. Let's play the Shade Splitter. Let's play a Rubble Morsel for you. Or for you, I guess. And then, do we want to play the Queen's Implings too, so the Transcend Imp does more? Sure, I guess. We're just gonna fill up this bottom floor. Bam, filled up. A brief respite. We'll play the good old Wingmaker. We'll play the Perils of Production. I don't even mind the Ember Drain at this point, so we're gonna put some Rage on you, and some more Rage on you. Shade Splitters, we can't put at the bottom. So we're going to put them at the top. I think the Apex Imp is gonna not maybe last, but it's doing okay so far. It's just that everything else is doing amazing. So, we play good old Wingmaker, and we play an Immortal Trade, and now we're winning Click the End turn button. How nice. We got Sinner's Salve. It is useful. Blights and Scourges cost 0 to play. Important work? Excellent. Alright, let's take that. I do like Ember Cache. Let's take Ember Cache. And then I think I'm going to go to the right. I mostly care about artifacts right now. Mostly. And that's what's on the right. The Divine Temple has Extreme Stone, which is good on Hornbreak, and Seek Stone, which is good on... I don't know. I don't know what we want a Seek Stone on. So, there's definitely an Extreme Stone right there. Let's peek in here. We see Refined Void is pretty fine. That's the only one I consider pretty fine here. We're probably going to re-roll and hope for something better. Concealed Caverns. What do you have? Ooh. So, I like For the Greater Good, but upgrading a unit is just too strong. It's just too strong. Because the strike melee weakness is really good on a multi-strike unit like Hef the Blacksmith. So one of the Hef the Blacksmith is going to have that. Let's go here and re-roll. Okay. Improve Firebox is good. We're probably going to take that, but let's look what's here. We could take nothing, or we could take Boon of the Blacksmith. I guess we'll take Boon of the Blacksmith. Alright, Improve Firebox means we've got tons of Ember from the very beginning. That's good. I like having tons of Ember. And then Extreme Stone on the Hornbreak. We've got 135 pack shards, and we move on. Archus, Darkness, Incarnate. Shattering and Looming. I have to remember about those, because those both affect me when we're playing with imps. We will play Ember Cache, of course. We will play Hef the Blacksmith at the bottom. I think I'm going to play this one at the bottom and this one at the top. So the better one is at the top. So the better one is at the top. We play the Apex Imp in the center. We get a Welder Helper, which we also play in the center. And then the Perils of Production gives us more Ember than it takes away, as long as we separate it, right? If we separate it, the Ember Drain goes away faster. So let's do one here, and one at the top. Alright, 258 damage on the first turn. Take that. Alright, don't die at the bottom, though. That's one of the things we're going to try to have not happen, is death at the bottom. We'll play Excavated Ember. We'll play Excavated Ember. We can play Reinforce to give you a lot of armor, which seems fine. It's not amazing right now, but it's fine. Let's do it. Let's play the Shade Splitter. Let's play something at the bottom that will take one of the hits. The Queen's Impling could take a hit. Good old Wingmaker comes to the rescue. Bam. Alright. Now what we want is the Fledgling Imp to go at the bottom in front of Hef the Blacksmith. And then these two are going to go at the top. Alright, going great. Keep that for later. Good old Wingmaker at the bottom is fine, but we want to play the other spells first, I guess? I want to important work you, so let's do that first. Alright, play these spells. Then play good old Wingmaker, when there's no spells to be increased by the Looming Darkshard. Don't really care about Molting Imp at the bottom. Let's play the Welder Helper here and see what we draw. We drew a Shade Splitter. A couple of Rubble Morsels and a Magma Morsel. We'll play those at the top. I don't think we care about playing these Imps, and I'd rather have the Ember, probably. I don't know, it looks like we're fine on Ember for right now. So let's play an Imp just to have it die. Or two. Let's have two Imps played to die. Now, you're getting more damage at the top. Let's play our Excavated Ember. Let's play good old Wingmaker at the bottom still, because why play it anywhere else, really? Making of a Morsel. We don't have an Imp to play, so we don't get to draw a card. We can play the Train Steward to take most of the damage. Or we could just play Immortal Trade. I actually want to do both of those. Immortal Trade down here so that you have some lifesteal. And then we're going to play both of these up here. And I think we are confidently winning this one. Confidently. Things are going just fine at the bottom. We have an Imp in the box to play. We have Imps. Let's play the Welder Helper. And let's be sure not to play any of the spells there. We can sap you and push you back. That's actually nice because it ends up taking out those Welder Helpers and making more space. Oh, it pulls you front. Whoops. Never mind, I should have done it on this one. I just forgot the direction that went. And we have a Shade Splitter, and then we can play a Horn Break on the boss, and it won't do anything except hit the boss. Great. Now, we've already played an Imp. Let's just play a Rubble Morsel and move on. So, good old Wingmaker could go at the bottom. We can sacrifice an Imp. I would definitely want to do that to this one. Got a Making of a Morsel. So the only Imp that we have is the Molting Imp. So we're going to play that at the bottom. I will play it in front. And then we have Shade Splitters and Making of a Morsel. We can play a lot of those. And then good old Wingmaker at the bottom. So, Rubble Morsels. I actually want to play the Morsels down here now. Because, honestly, I think we're going to win at the bottom. We've done so much damage to the boss already. We did get a Weight of Contrition. I didn't really think too much about that, but we did get it. Not that it does anything except prevent a draw. So, what can we do? We want to play good old Wingmaker here. How much do we care about Ember Drain now? We do not care about it at all. There's 2 Excavated Embers there. Alright, let's give you some Rage. Actually, we haven't played an Imp yet. Let's do that. Alright. Let's give you a bunch of Rage. Let's give you some Lifesteal, and let's give you a Damage Shield and a Morsel Excavator for even more Lifesteal. Alright, let's win at the bottom next turn. And we win at the bottom easily. Okay. Ooh, there it is. Transcend Imp. Yes. Not only is it something we can master, but it is also something that fits the deck really well. Take that. And then, well, we have Hef the Blacksmith and good old Wingmaker for space. We have a ton of things to give us Ember, so... or draw, of course. Of course, I'd say, after I spend time thinking about it. And then there's hope. There's hope that we could get another card to master if we go to the right. Alright, let's do it. There's also a chance for an Immortal Stone, which would also be excellent. Frenzy Stone, you know? The Apex Imp could get a Frenzy Stone, and I'd be quite happy about that. So, yeah. Concealed Caverns. Let's see what you have. There's another Concealed Caverns card. It's not this one. Alright, so I will lose some Pyre health for chances to gain artifacts. So we've lost 5, we've lost 10, we've lost 15. Morsel units get Damage Shield. That helps us. We've deemed you worthy. You typically do. Typically. Just takes you a bit. Divine Horde gives us Chain of Gems. Chain of Gems is nice. I don't think we have a single Gorge ability. Yeah, we didn't take any Umbra units, did we? We took 0 Umbra units, except for the Morsel Maker that we sacrificed. So, Chain of Gems. And then I'm happy with a Frenzy Stone on the Apex Imp. And then otherwise I don't care. I'm going to hold off removing the Train Steward until the last ring. Yeah. Alright, let's move on. Who could be here? You. You're actually not too bad for what we're doing. I definitely do not want Heaven's Seal, though. Even though it'd be quite nice. It would be quite nice. Ooh. How tempted am I? I shouldn't be tempted. I really shouldn't be tempted. But I am. I definitely am tempted. I'm gonna turn it on. This might kill me. This might kill me. Let's do it. Okay, for example, how do we kill you? That's the first example of something that we have not figured out yet. So, the better one is going to go at the top. Better one at the top with a morsel. A morsel that gives... Ooh, don't play that one first. We want to play you first because you have damage shield if we play you first. And 140 damage to that one doesn't do anything, by the way. Important work. We could sacrifice an imp this turn, even. Alright. Morsel Excavator goes up here. You go up here. We will play the Fledgling Imp in front. I mean, it doesn't matter. We're going to sacrifice it. Shade Splitter and a Rubble Morsel. Rubble Morsel can go in the center or the bottom. Kind of want it at the bottom. Remember that they enter with damage shield 1. Does that help me? It doesn't really help me. I'm going to put it at the bottom. We're going to Perils of Production this one. Or the Ember? How much do we need the Ember right now? I think I'm going to Perils of Production for the Ember, and then I'm going to do it for Rage. Rage on you doesn't do anything this turn, but it might next turn. It might next turn. Alright, so we need to take that out. We do know that we need to take that out. And we're getting stuff in our deck on the way, too. Oh man, we still didn't draw one of the things that we need. We did draw a couple of Welder Helpers, though. And an Imp in the box. Okay, Pyre Chomper, not bad. You're taking 174 damage, and then you heal up to 100. I mean, most of what goes away is your armor. So we're definitely playing a Welder Helper here. That's no question at all. We'll play the Excavated Ember. Ooh, the Transcend Imp. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to play a Pyre Chomper at the bottom, I think. What are we going to play at the top? We're going to play all of these imps. They take up 4 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 space. 5 space right there. So we can't play this imp or this Shade Splitter depending on which one we choose not to play. I guess we're just not going to play the Shade Splitter so we can play more imps. Okay. So where are we playing the imps? Let's play the Queen's Impling at the bottom. Queen's Impling at the bottom. We're going to put it in front because we do want it to die. We're going to play a Pyre Chomper at the bottom because we don't care if it dies. We're going to play Welder Helpers at the top to give you armor, I guess. And then we're going to play the Transcend Imp in the center because it's going to give you a ton of armor and therefore rage. There we go. Now we kill one of them. And we don't have space to play the Shade Splitter. We didn't kill the Collector, which was sad, but we did kill this one going up, which is important. Okay, I'm tired of these self-mutilations. I'm telling you. Tired of those. We don't get to draw an extra card this turn because we didn't draw imps, which is sad. We can play Immortal Trade on you. You don't need it, definitely. So Immortal Trade goes on you. The Horn Break hits you because we mostly want you to not add stuff to my deck. And then where do the morsels go? I think we put a morsel up here for our really good Hef the Blacksmith, and we put 2 down here to help this one out. If it goes in front, actually we just gave you lifesteal, so it doesn't matter. We could have put this one in front though, because it has the damage shield. I should remember the damage shield. We have 2 different sources of damage shield from our artifacts. I should try to remember those. Alright. Reinforce. Reinforce is nice right there. Let's think about anything else we might want to do first. We should play an imp first. Let's play an imp at the bottom first. Okay, well, we'll play that. Good old Wingmaker at the bottom sounds very nice. Let's play Ember Cache. We're going to play Reinforce on you. And you've got a lot of rage. You're very angry. Do we play the Train Steward? I kind of want the Train Steward to die. So I think the answer is yes. We do play the Train Steward. The old magic allows me to draw another card. And we could bring you forward. But if we brought you forward, we wouldn't kill both of them. Ooh, that's an interesting bit. Alright, well, we could bring you forward. And then the Train Steward doesn't die. Right. Right. Alright, the Morsel Miner goes to the top. This Queen's Impling stays in our deck for a future time. We have a Transcend Imp still in our deck, right? I think that one came out of an Imp in the box. Oh, maybe I was wrong. We start with good old Wingmaker. Good old Wingmaker at the bottom. We play Excavated Ember. And another Excavated Ember. Imp in a box. We have several imps to play. And we have a few morsels to play. Alright. What imps do we play? I actually don't want them to have damage shield at the bottom, so I'm gonna play the Morsel Miner first to use up the Chain of Gems. You've got 3 damage shield. Huzzah. And then we play an imp. I want to play an imp that dies, which we cannot do. I want the Train Steward to die more than the imp. Okay. More morsels. Well, I am happy to play more morsels for you. And I'm also happy to play more morsels for you. The Horn Break can cause this one to die. Oh, it doesn't. We're off by 1. Well, we could always play a Molting Imp. There we go. And we're done. We're done this turn. Keep the Queen's Implings. A brief respite. What are we going to do with a brief respite exactly? I'm not sure. Alright, well, old magic we're not going to play, I don't think. Immortal Trade we could play. I would put it on you, actually. Good old Wingmaker, no reason not to play that. Shade Splitter, no reason not to. An Imp. We could sacrifice an Imp. I would sacrifice the Welder Helper if we had the chance to do something else. I could sacrifice one of those Welder Helpers. I guess I will. Making of a Morsel. Alright, play the morsels. and then be done. So, we probably don't win at the bottom. We don't. And this does non-boss enemy units, which is very important. There's no reason not to play Perils of Production on Hef the Blacksmith, though. So let's do that. I want to play this Imp, but I also kind of don't want to play it, because it'll increase your attack faster. Oh well, we play it. I mean, we are doing more damage because I did that. Let's play the good old Wingmaker. And a Making of a Morsel, of course. Shade Splitter, Shade Splitter, Shade Splitter, Making of a Morsel. So, where do we put all the morsels? We can put one down here. Let's put one down here. I'll put this one down here. And we're doing a lot of damage. And then the rest of them go up here. Alright. We didn't win at the bottom, but we got close. Now, do we win in the center? We easily win in the center. Click and turn and win. Huzzah! And we got the 400 gold. Which means we can buy artifacts, if there are any good artifacts. Impish Scholar, what could you get back? Ember Cache, Excavated Ember, Imp in a Box. Reinforced, there's tons of things you could get back. I mean, I guess I will. I don't want these. Alright, we've got a 36 card deck, which is a pretty big deck. And there's no reason to go to the Merchant of Magic, or the Merchant of Steel, I mean, so we're going to go to the Merchant of Magic. We can remove a Train Steward, definitely. Let's look at all the other things first. Value Stone and Seek Stone. Value Stone really doesn't help much. Seek Stone, I mean, it does help, but not a lot. Engage Pact. I don't even know. If we had another Transcend Imp, I would sacrifice one of them to the other to give one of them Endless. That's something that I would do. But we don't have that. And we didn't go here, so I can't do it. That would have been a reason to go here, actually, if I had thought that far in advance. Merchant of Magic has an Eternal Stone that's always good on stuff. It really is. We could play it on an Imp in the Box. Don't mind that at all. Surge Stone we don't want. Ember Stone we could play on Making of a Morsel or Old Magic. Kind of want to play it on Old Magic, so we draw more for less Ember. But we could also reroll. Friendly units enter with Rage. It's not bad, but it's not great. Friendly units enter with Armor is fine. Let's reroll. Let's look for something more impactful for us. Rage adds an additional +1 per stack is nice. Units get an extra upgrade slot doesn't work when we can't do that here. So I think we take Resonant Shard. And then don't take any of those. We do take this. We go to the Merchant of Magic. I think I want the Eternal Stone on an Imp in a Box. Ember Stone on Old Magic. And then if we re-rolled, we wouldn't get to do much. We could just purge a card, which sounds nice. We don't want to do anything here. So, we're going to have exactly 50 pack shards. Let's remove the last Train Steward finally. And I think we remove a Shade Splitter over a Queen Zimpling. And let's delete another card. Purge a card. Do we get rid of another Shade Splitter? I think we do. Alright. To Seraph the Diligent, which is a hard one. The problem with Seraph the Diligent is you consume my spells. I really don't like that. We have to be careful what we play every turn. And honestly, the being careful part is one of the hardest parts for me. I do like that we got Excavated Ember, so we can consume something that already consumes. Now, we start off like we always start off. We've got a Shade Splitter, which we can play at the top to prevent the Ember Drain. I should not have done that first, though, because it used up my Chain of Gems. Right. Let's play the Queen's Impling, because it draws us a card. F the Blacksmith goes here. Does a lot of damage, but not enough. Shade Splitter, a Rubble Morsel. We'll go with the Apex Imp. Heralds of Production, we're going to put on something. I'm thinking about putting on a Hef the Blacksmith. Thinking about it, especially because we've got Resonant Shard. Alright, we shall. Okay, so we're going to lose 4 Ember at the beginning of next turn, but we also have 10 Ember right now. And you almost die now. Do we play the Immortal trait at the top? I do play that at the top. Okay. So we've done some things that spent a lot of Ember. Honestly. A lot of Ember. Let's play this one first. Now, which one do we want to consume? Clearly the thing that already consumes itself. We have an Imp to play. It is this one, which is also quite nice to play. Another Vengeful Shard. Hate those. So, do we play the good old Wingmaker in the center or at the bottom? Kind of thinking the center. Alright, now we have space in the center, which is not something we've had in a previous one of these. We can play Impish Scholar right now to get back something to get more Ember. It's not my favorite thing to get back with Impish Scholar, but we are going to get it back. Well, fine. We'll play these so that you take most of the damage, and the Morsel Miner goes at the top. Alright, play this first, then think about what we would consume. I mean, we could play the Reinforce first, after we play Welder Helper. That would be the right thing to consume. I will do that. Do we want to play the Welder Helper first? Yes, because what else are we going to give the Chain of Gems to? Gosh. Alright, well, Reinforce makes you a lot bigger. Still don't kill you because you don't have Trample. Important Work will sacrifice one of those. And we get an Excavated Ember. I like how much we draw cards. So, who do we want to bring to the front? You. You are the one we want to bring to the front. And then we'll play a Queen's Impling on you. Huzzah. I guess that means that we're playing this one in the center. Because I did that at the bottom just now. Could have thought about that a little bit more before I played those things, but we played them the way we did. Alright, our Hef the Blacksmith at the bottom really needs some help. We have lifesteal things to give her health, but otherwise we don't really have one of those things. So, what do we play that we would like to consume? The Ember Catch, because it consumes anyway. I like how we always have something that consumes anyway. I think we're going to play this Imp in a Box. Welder Helper, that's always good in the center. Play it in the center. And this also draws me a card. We actually want to play something first, because it'll get the Chain of Gems. We'll play the Queen's Impling to get the Chain of Gems. And then the Welder Helper goes in the center. We play a Shade Splitter. We don't have enough Ember to play all these cards. That's important. Let's consider whether we're playing Shade Splitter. Let's play Imp in the Box. We're definitely playing that. Oh, a Transcend Imp from the box? That's pretty nice. It does mean we have less Ember than even what I just mentioned. I think we play the good old Wingmaker instead of all of the Imps, and I think we keep the Transcend Imp for later. So maybe we play the good old Wingmaker at the bottom, and we play a Welder Helper here, and maybe a Fledgling Imp in the center too. Just seems good. Alright. So our middle guy is extremely strong. We drew our own Transcend Imp. What are we going to consume? I think we want to play our Transcend Imp, and I'm going to play it in the center. And then we'll think about what we consume. We consume this one. Huzzah! And we got an Imp in the Box. Oh my. Well, like always, there's just too many things that I want to play. Let's play the good old Wingmaker at the bottom. Let's play an Imp in the Box to see what we're going to do down here. So if we play a Making of a Morsel, it would have Damage Shield. And I think that's valuable. So what we're going to do is play Making of a Morsel. We're going to put it down here. It has Damage Shield. Then we're going to put an Imp in front of it so it doesn't die and it does get eaten. That Imp is going to be the Fledgling Imp. Then we play Immortal Trade on you so that you heal back up. Alright. So what do we want to consume? One of these, of course. We always have something to consume. Oh my. We have space for one more Transcend Imp in the center. Alright. Play the Imp in a Box. A Rage Imp. Rage Imp is quite nice. We're going to play the Molting Imp. Yeah, play the Molting Imp. Play the Vengeful Shard. Play a Rage Imp down here. Then we play a Transcend Imp in the center, I think. Or we important work this one first. Let's important work this one first. Okay, Transcend Imp in the center. Bam. You've got 971 times 2 attack. That's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Good old Wingmaker we play at the bottom. I do still want to play that every turn. And then Perils of Production. I'm going to play that on a Shade Splitter because I actually want the Ember the most right now. What if we sap Seraph? Because then, if we keep doing that, and we might be able to keep doing that, then we'll do well. I'm going to play the Queen's Impling so that it dies. I want to have a small deck. And right now, the number of imps makes the deck not so small. So, Vengeful Shard, that's easy. What are we going to consume? We could consume a Shade Splitter, no problem with that. Consume a Shade Splitter. Morsel Excavator, let's put it at the top. You have 3 stealth still. Don't like your 3 stealth. Making of a Morsel will play up here. Shade Splitter will play up here. I want you to continue having lifesteal for if the boss actually makes it there, which I kind of doubt at this point. Then good old Wingmaker at the bottom, definitely. And then a Hornbreak. Hornbreak on the boss. Get rid of the spell shield. Oh, the Hornbreak is piercing. Right, never mind. Alright, Seraph the Diligent. I'm sure you're not dying at the bottom. What do we consume? Consume a Shade Splitter. We will play the Molting Imp here, and then Important Work it. We should have Important Work a different imp. I just realized that. Whoops. We can't play any more units in the center, so we're going to play these at the bottom. And we're going to play good old Wingmaker. We're going to play the Welder Helper in front. Yeah, Welder Helper. And then Molting Imp. And then Fledgling Imp. Now we're dealing 19 damage. 19 damage? So I guess you're killing half the blacksmith before she gets to hit you. How sad. Well, let's play a Perils of Production here, so that we do more damage to you. Alright, well at least the stealth is gone. I'm pretty confident we could win in the center, because our guy just has so much attack, right? And he has a lot of armor. So, do we win in the center? We do. Let's play the Vengeful Shard and win in the center. So, the Last Divinity. Do we use the same setup for the Last Divinity as we have been? Don't know the answer to that. Because with the Last Divinity, the center is a lot more dangerous for you. And the top is perfectly fine. It's just that half the blacksmith is nice. What do I do? So we're gonna play half the blacksmith at the bottom. The not so good one. We're going to play a half the blacksmith somewhere and an apex imp somewhere. Where do we play the apex imp? I'm kind of thinking the top. It also ends up killing imps, which I think might be a good thing. You know, not the apex imp, the other imps that we play. I think that might actually be a good thing. So Rebel Morsel, the Apex Imp goes in front. Oh, we should have played... I was worried about the Ember Drain. I should remember about the extra damage shield. Oh, we used it at the bottom. Right. Right. Of course we did. The Welder Helper goes up here. So now you're dealing some damage. You, we want to put in the center. I don't know if we give you lifesteal or not. We're going to play the Imp here, though. That removes another damage shield. Oh, no, it doesn't, because you removed the damage shield, but then he attacks you. It saved a little bit of attack on half the blacksmith, I guess. This half the blacksmith goes in the center. Do we bother playing Immortal Trade on the bottom half the blacksmith? The reason to do so is that you are going to take most of the damage, and that could save you. But if we think that you're going to die, maybe we should do it on this half the blacksmith, which has a harder time surviving. I think we do it here. And then the Perils of Production we're going to spend for the Ember this turn. We really want to save up Ember at the beginning. Okay. The good old Wingmaker being here already is nice. Let's play an Excavated Ember first. And an Ember Cache. We're going to play this Imp. But we might want to play something in the center that has the 2 damage shield first. Let's play the Shade Splitter and see what it gives us. Ooh, it would be so nice to have you not die, is the thing. To have more lifesteal on somebody. Like you. We could put it behind... No, you would die because of the spikes. Darn. Don't know if you having lifesteal is worth it at all, especially with the Welder Helper. Alright, I guess the lifesteal is not going to happen. So I'm going to play you in the center. So that you have some damage shield. You have 1 damage shield and the rest of this damage shield. That saves half the blacksmith. Now we're going to play a Making of a Morsel to put up here. To take the Ember Drain. A Welder Helper to play up here. We already have a Transcend Imp. I mean, we're doing pretty well. But I don't think we play it yet. Because we just want it to be able to do more. Good old Wingmaker, we've got to play down here. It just takes out too much useful things to take out. We could have played it in the center, but I think we got to play it down here. So, we play this down here. And then we play a Queen's Impling in front, followed by a Fledgling Imp, followed by a Fledgling Imp. There we go. And then Transcend Imp will come back to you later. We do go through our deck pretty fast, typically, so we should get back to them. We can keep these 2 half the blacksmiths alive long enough. They can take care of all the little things going up the train. Alright, we definitely have to play a Queen's Impling. Maybe we play the good old Wingmaker first, so that the Queen's Impling doesn't immediately die. I think we do. Alright. You're not dying, but now you're really not dying. And Making of a Morsel, we can put at the top. We can put it in the center to give 6 health. I don't think we will. I think we'll put it at the top. Queen's Impling we can put in the center so that it takes some of the damage. It took that damage, I guess. And then we want to play something at the bottom to take some of the damage. So now you're taking 15. Oh, the trample. Right. Alright, let's play this in the center then. So now you're taking 15. 5 of that is that. And 10 of that is that? How does that work? Yeah, that makes sense, actually. Alright, so. We need to save half the blacksmith in the center and the bottom long enough so that the apex imp can become absolutely incredible, and so that they can kill the riffraff. Pull to the front, you say? So if we pull this one to the front, the other thing that we could do is sap the Last Divinity. That's actually really helpful in the center, primarily. Let's sap the Last Divinity in the center. So, our consume pile has a good number of things in it. I don't know what you're going to get back. I want you to go in the center with your damage shield. Great, now you're only taking 4 damage. It'd be nice for you to not take any damage, but you're only taking 4. Alright, we don't have many imps left. In fact, we have 0 imps left right there. So, Transcend Imp, your time to shine is now. We'll play the Welder Helper at the top. We will play a Pyre Chomper at the bottom, so that it takes that 18 damage. We will play Important Work on the Welder Helper? I guess so. It's not like we have much space up here, so we do want to play that on the Welder Helper. Old Magic? Let's continue sapping the Last Divinity in the center. It's actually really nice. And then, now let's play the Transcend Imp at the top. Here we go, here's the big one. Alright. And we got an Imp in the box, which we play. Fledgling Imps. The Fledgling Imps don't survive at the top. We're going to play them at the bottom. The Shade Splitter survives at the top, so we play that. We play Reinforce, of course. Great, now we're doing a ton of damage at the top. The good old Wingmaker could kill you. I think that's valuable. Good old Wingmaker kills you. And then Hornbreak doesn't do a whole lot, but it does some. Let's do Hornbreak here so it does not kill that one, never mind. Alright, let's play Fledgling Imps at the bottom. Fledgling Imp, Fledgling Imp. The Fledgling Imps don't do much at the bottom because of the trample. Let's play this one in the center. Okay. I mean, I feel good. I think we're gonna win. No problem. Alright, let's start with a good old Wingmaker, because we're definitely playing that at the bottom. And then, we don't have any more imps. And I think that's just true. We have an imp in the box. Right. So we have a source for more imps. But we don't have more imps just in the deck. Shade Splitter, Shade Splitter. Now, who wants to have the lifesteal the most? I guess you want the lifesteal the most. And we want to play something down here that takes most of the damage with Damage Shield. So, takes most of the damage with Damage Shield. You get some lifesteal. Then, since those aren't dying there, and this one's not dying here, we play... Well, I guess we could put it at the bottom, but we play these at the top, clearly, because of their damage shield, they can actually survive at the top and give you stuff. And then I think we can win next turn. I think we can. Let's see, because if we play good old Wingmaker at the top, then we win. Alright, click end turn and win. Waves remaining 4. There we go. Apex Imp for the victory. Oh man, that was a good one. Also, this is the first time I tried Truer Champion this time around. We actually got 3 expert challenges in a row in this episode and the last 2, which is quite nice. Especially since I'd lost all of those expert challenges previously. Alright, we got a card frame for probably completing expert challenges. And we mastered Transcend Imp and Excavated Ember. Excavated Ember is one of the harder ones because, well, you need a specific cavern event for it. But we got it this time. So another cavern event card mastered. Very few left. There's one cavern event card, 1 Hellhorned, 1 Stygian, and 2 Wormkin left to master. And this one, I think it's Thy Holiest Shield that we haven't mastered yet. I'll confirm myself on the screen. All right. That was great. Very surprised we didn't get a record. I think we should always get new records. Shouldn't I have done something better than I'd done before sometime during that? But anyway. The last expert challenge done. And we have mastered a couple cards. Very good progress. As of this run, I have achieved a max Covenant win with every clan combination, with Hellhorned as the primary clan. There is exactly 1 clan combination remaining for me to achieve a max Covenant win with every one of them. I also completed the final expert challenge, which unlocked a new card frame. There is 1 additional card frame I expect to earn. On the right, I Divinity mastered both Transcend Imp and Excavated Ember this run. 2 more cards down, and only 5 to go. 2 Wormkin, 1 Stygian, 1 Hellhorned, and a Cavern event card. On the left, I am featuring Reinforce, which reaches my 10 battle threshold. I don't find a lot of good use cases for Reinforce, but when you have an Apex Imp, it shines. Immortal Trade becomes the 40th card I've brought into 100 battles. It is one of my favorites to have in a deck, but I still often use it sparingly. The lifesteal is amazing, but the Ember Drain can be painful. Instead of artifacts this run, I am showing 2 other things that have reached my 100 threshold. Mark of Invasion becomes the first trial I have taken at least 100 times, and that happened last run, not this run, but I neglected to mention it. I find it to be generally easier to deal with than many of the trials, so I'm happy to take it most times it is offered. Shattering Darkshard becomes the 36th enemy for which I have achieved 100 kills where I stop counting, although kills isn't the correct word for these. This is the very last enemy I expect to reach 100 in my playthrough. All that remains are bosses and constructed explosives. Check out my tracking sheet, link in the video description. New episodes every Saturday, and thanks for watching.